Yo, 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 guys, how's it going? You alright? It's Yad here again for the Yad Show, appropriately. I'm here today with John Matrix.
Hey, man.
You alright, mate?
I'm good, you?
Yeah? You've just had your back done recently. I don't mean like that as in a sort of, like a very ego
it wasn't
driven,
waxed, put it that way.
Yeah,
No, just some injections for pain relief.
So you're feeling much better now?
Much better, yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we're just going to go straight into this clip. It's I'm quite proud of this one. She was banging, absolutely banging. She's that's, you know, to interpret that for, I suppose, normal English, it would be superlative. She was amazing. She was lovely. Some people might not get that word banging. I don't know. Or they might get it in the wrong context, which is, you know, what we don't want. Anyway, I'm rambling way too much. We need to introduce this. It's a lovely English model slash actress, I think. She's done a bit of acting. Actually, yeah, I remember. She's in a show, in a film right now, as we did this. So it's a really, really nice and as I said, like, you know, with English girls, the fact that they don't need to sort of make friends and they're always like a bit suspicious on home turf. I suppose you could say that, John, for any girls. Like, so say a Norwegian girl who's from Oslo, because we're going to Oslo like in a couple of days. A Norwegian girl from Oslo is going to be a lot more difficult than a Norwegian girl from Bergen living in Oslo.
Right.
Just because of the whole French, like the group thing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, this is very specific to Norwegian culture, but Swedes in Norway, they're the easiest sets you can have.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite impossible almost to get a date with a Norwegian from Oslo in Oslo, because she's just got such a strong foundation when it comes to being social. Whereas a party Swede, which is what they call these Swedes who go over.
Svenska.
Yeah, party Svenska. They go over for economical reasons, I believe,
Yeah,
don't they?
like they earn more money.
It's like our Polish girls, basically.
Yeah.
So they've got less of a foundation in terms of social circle, and hence they're more.
I think it's like that with any girl.
Yeah.
Anytime she's in a foreign place.
Exactly.
You
And
know?
so this is a case in point where I think I'm most proud of. I don't know about you, but like so say, if I'm in Chelsea and she's from Chelsea, and you can tell
it's much more of a triumph.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, here we go. This is great. Sorry, can I just tell you something very quickly? I literally just saw you and I had to come over and say hello.
Hi.
Hi. I just thought you looked really nice.
Thank you.
It's like your style is very like Parisian or something. Cool, we'll pause it there. Did the ad stop this time? The last two clips we've done with Tom being in your seat is not being the classic Yad stop, but this is a good bit of Yad stop going on. It feels weird talking about myself in the third person, by the way. But yeah, and you can tell just the way she walks, the way she's holding her ciggy, even with the whole Parisian thing is very apt here. Yeah. Because we always say the whole, you look very French or whatever, you could say whatever, but really this time it really works. And she's just beguiled. I think it's to do with the fact of a good Yad stop.
Yeah, it always bowls them over. When you do it just right, it makes all the difference.
Exactly, and you get that bit of like bang, with the eye contact and everything just coalesces. So this is exactly what's happened there. It almost seems like, I know she's an actress, but it almost seems like we've actually hired an actress, when we do the ad stop properly, because it's just so smooth looking, isn't it? It goes against convention almost. It's like, if you told a guy on paper, right, what I do is, a guy who's never like dating before, what I do is I just jump in front of birds, women, and, I deliver these lines, like off the bat, like no like premeditation, just like she doesn't know who I am completely, and it's just she's got 2 seconds of eye contact to go on. He'll be like, "You're nuts!" She'll just scream and run away.
Yeah, a lot of guys think that is true, but living proof.
Exactly. I urge you to go out there and do it properly, because when you have conviction like we have now, you know, after so many successful...
It's a lot about conviction.
Yeah.
If you do it in a weak way,
exactly.
You know, we see it with the boot camps when guys, when they're just learning to do it and they don't do it with real conviction,
exactly.
they don't believe it's going to work.
Exactly.
Therefore, it permeates through the whole thing, that just their voice isn't right, the eye contact's not right, they don't get in front of her. But when you believe it's going to work and you do it right, it's magic.
And I suppose where we get that belief from, after all these years of doing it, is it becomes ingrained almost. You know?
Yeah, that's it. And then it all becomes automatic. You don't think about it, you just do it.
I mean, I remember, I think you're interesting because when we first started out, you were completely almost unsociable.
Yeah.
To the point where... What was cool about that, though, John, I think, when we first used to go, is you threw yourself behind it completely. You weren't judgmental, you know.
Yeah.
But I think now it's almost automatic now for you.
Yeah, it's automatic.
Yeah.
It has to be. The moment you start thinking about what you're doing, while you're doing it, it doesn't really work. Obviously, when you're learning, you need to, but it needs to reach a point where it's automatic.
So where would you say that's come from?
Practice.
Yeah.
And reference points, positive reference points. Once you've done it so many times and it's worked, like when you, like I'm sure the way you feel, you see a girl, you know she's going to stop. You just know it.
Yeah.
Therefore, everything you do, all your body language, it's all geared towards her stopping.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
it's quite extraordinary how much I know now, because, you know, just last Saturday I had a bounce back. A bounce back is when you take a girl home after perhaps less than 4 hours of meeting her from street straight back. You know, there's no break in between. This was within 2 hours, and, you know, it was a German girl, au pair, and I could, like, just walking home on a Saturday night, she'd just been to the pub with some English students, she's here studying English, and I could have told the trajectory from start to finish 30 seconds before I approached her. Because, firstly, because how I felt a lot of conviction. I said, right, I can tell she's waddling home and she can't be bothered to go home almost. And secondly, you know, I have done it so many times to the point where now I just know they love it, I love it. It's just two human beings connecting on such a beautiful level. But I can't put that on paper and just give it to someone, you know, and that's where practice comes in.
It is. Yeah, you can't.
Right.
I get that quite a lot.
So you're not?
I'm not from Paris, no.
Oh, okay. You're actually from
London.
I did not expect that one bit. I don't know why. I don't even know why, but we spoke about this with Tom, you know, when you deliver lines and you kind of, you know, we have to now, I suppose at this level, we have to kind of pretend that this is in the moment. Because it should be in the moment, you know, that's the whole beauty of it. You know, girls, okay, they might think, okay, this guy does this a lot, but they'll fool themselves into going, no, but that was in the moment, that was special. You know, they always need this little white lie to tell themselves almost, to convince themselves that this is spontaneous and unique, right? So the minute you come across, as I'm sure you've been in this situation, and I've been, when you come across too smooth, too slick, you've kind of lost the ball, haven't you?
But it's hard, because once you've done it so many times, it just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
It's hard to, like, it's still genuine, but it's so smooth that it's like, it's a lot of times, I mean, I saw a girl recently, and when I actually met her on a date, she said she was a bit worried that it was something like, you know, the film Taken? A bit like that, because she said you were too good. Like, you're saying all the right things, you're really confident, and, you know, she still met me. And she said actually once I started texting her, it allayed her fears, you know, but she said, like, when I met you, you know, it was too perfect. And but, you know, it's hard to, you can't, I mean, you have to, I guess you can fake being a bit nervous or...
Yeah, well, you know, I wouldn't recommend that, because that comes across as worse than being smooth, because it comes across like you're being someone else. Just like when you're not confident and you're trying to be confident. If you're confident and you're trying to not be confident, it's a bit weird. But I've become a master in terms of just delivering lines a certain way. So still with that, I'm not trying to like pretend I'm, you know, anything but myself, like this confident guy who picks up women on the street, but I'm delivering the lines with a bit more humility. So it's not like, hey, I just saw you and I had to come over and say hello and I thought you looked really nice. So it's not like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
It's a bit more like, I don't know, and I thought you looked a bit like Parisian. And the lines are very much like, I'm a bit lost for words. So I should be, because this should be unique. So that's all it is. To be honest, at the end of the day, it doesn't make that much of a difference. It just allays a few fears she might have at the beginning.
I think it's also about the way you say it.
Yeah.
If you say it with passion and with feeling,
exactly,
like you're not reading it off a script, then it's fine.
And you know, that depends on the girl as well. I think at our level, the hotter she is, you know.
And when like if you're demoing for a student and the girl's you're not really into her, you have to try and turn it on. Yeah. And you do your best, but if the girl's, she's just not your type, then sometimes I can hear when the lines come out, it's just it's not genuine. But when you really like her, it makes all the difference.
I've been teaching students. I love doing this thing because I think the best way I teach is when a student watches me. So he's right there next to me and he's learning almost by osmosis, you know, he's the vibe is coming off me, it's kind of washing over him as well a little bit, and it's rubbing off everyone. The whole atmosphere is rubbing off everyone, right? You just know you're all experiencing it, and I don't think there's any substitute for it. So when I'm teaching in that fashion, I've heard students like tell me afterwards how they could feel, they get it now because they could feel the attraction we both had for each other. And then we've been in a set together where I've not been that attracted to the girl, she's been less hot, and the student has similarly felt that she's almost felt intimidated, or she's not felt quite right about it because I've not felt right being in that situation.
And as you always say, the man's feeling dominates the woman's.
Exactly.
Whatever you're feeling, she'll feel.
Exactly. And you know, the best thing I've learned about game, the hotter they are, the friendlier they are.
Always, yeah.
You know, such a nice thing to know. Yeah. Do you work in fashion or something? Is that it?
No, I'm an actress.
Hence, you have to sort of like look a bit LA with your shades and...
It's because when it's cold, my eyes just water the whole time, so I'm always crying.
It's nowhere near that level of like harsh cold. So this is cool. I love the legs here because we always sort of talk about.
Actually, that last comment you made, it's nowhere near that hard. It's really good because it's very. You're talking to her like you're talking to a mate.
Exactly.
Like that's what you'd say to your mate. Yeah. It's very informal and it makes them very comfortable.
Exactly.
You know, you're not just agreeing with her and being polite. You're just like, nah, come on, it's not like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And it's the delivery as well. The delivery is very matey. It's like, come on. Like with your mates, you always like, you don't have to argue. You can just say, come on, mate. Like, you know, and you both get each other. You just make a noise. It's a very, like you said, it's a very familiar noise, isn't it? And yeah, it's great because, I mean, she's clearly, like, this is, I think, if I remember correctly, this is around midday on Carnaby Street, one of the most fashionable streets in London, where around the West End, basically, this is like, if you're watching in America, this would be like in the heart of Broadway. So she's an actress, she's a model, she's got stuff to do. She's not going to be hanging around on a Monday. I think this was Monday midday. You know, and the fact that you can just go up to her and have this amazing bit of like familiarity within what? Is this a minute in? Not even that. It's just testament to day game, isn't it? It's great. I don't think you could do that in a nightclub. Firstly, I don't think she goes to a nightclub. I think she's so high-end, she doesn't go to a nightclub. I'm convinced. And if she does, it'll be like guest list only, invited by industry insiders. Do you know what I mean? So day game just cuts through so many boundaries, I think. And the amount of, like, I don't know, just friends you'd have to deal with, the amount of connections she has, the amount of, like, I don't know, walls you have to go through. Say if you are out at a bar or she's out with her mates, you're out with your mates. It's just almost an impossible task.
I agree.
You know?
I know, but I get affected by the cold so easily.
Okay, but it does give you a very actressy look. You know, I think the shades are so associated with that glamorous lifestyle.
Do you think?
Oh, big time, yeah. Don't they wear it for practical reasons a lot of the time when they come out of like restaurants in LA and stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah. I've been to LA and a lot of people just wear it just so they don't get recognised, and especially like that's why these big ones became so fashionable.
I guess, and hats.
Fedora hats. Although I've always thought that makes you look more suspicious.
Yeah.
So this is cool. This is a bit of like challenging, teasing, and knowledge into one. So now we're in attraction. The capture bit was quite sudden, wasn't it? We were straight into attraction here, and so we're just actually connecting here like two mates would, but in a very non-serious, superficial way. I always say the attraction bit should be very superficial. You're into banter straight away.
Yeah.
You know, if you get deep, like for example, where are you from? What was it like growing up in the... Why should she tell you?
That's for further down the line.
Much further down. Where you've sort of gained enough attraction to be to have that right.
A lot of guys have a problem with that. Like we notice on boot camps, the nice guys, they go up and they go straight into rapport immediately because they don't know how to tease, you know. But it's a problem because then the girl goes away and she thinks, like you say, oh, there's a nice chat, you know, nice guy, but she doesn't feel anything for you. Yeah. Because the attraction's not there.
Yeah, and also her answers are very glib, shall we say. They're a bit like if someone just came up to you and said, "Oh, John, mate, where are you from?" Like, and you didn't know the geezer, you just knew him from Adam, whatever. And he was like, "Oh, John, mate, where are you from? I've just heard about you." You'd be like, "Oh, I'm from Essex, mate." That's it. That's all you'd give because you've got no pull in terms of wanting to give him more. But if, like, I don't know, a hero of yours, someone who you were genuinely attracted by their work or by their whatever lifestyle or whatever, said, "Oh, John, mate, tell me a little bit about yourself," you wouldn't stop rambling, would you? So it's that kind of thing, you know. Once you've got that hold on someone, which is gained by this attraction bit, you know. Celebrities have it because girls are already attracted to them. So say someone like Russell Brand who gets laid like a rock star. You know, a girl who loves his work is already attracted. Russell Brand, the worst thing he could do is try and build attraction again, because that would be too much. Yeah, he'll just have to go, so tell me a bit about yourself. That's it, and she won't quit investing. But here, you need to do what Russell Brand's done, basically, in his career.
You need to do that in 5 minutes.
But you can do it. That's the crazy thing, because firstly, you're more intimate, you're together, you know, and girls are very sort of intuitive. So all you have to, if you're a cool guy, if you're someone who has a good life and you're quite banterous like we are, anyway, around ourselves, all she has to do is get a glimpse for the cool guy. We're all cool guys, really, with our mates. Yeah. So all she has to do is just get a glimpse of that cool guy, hang around his mates, you know? Yeah. That's all it is.
Absolutely, that's why. Anyway, I've got to go off to House of Rosa, but it was really nice to meet you.
Yeah, what's your name? So here we learn that she's got to go for a casting. And I think you know, I was building a bit of attraction, I was doing quite well, but she's a bit surprised. She was taken aback by the fact that we're having a bit of a laugh. So her natural instincts kick in of, well, I've got to go. And by the way, the best sets I've ever had have said to me, I've got to go twice. This German girl we were just discussing, the one I got laid with, like on a bounce back, like last Saturday, she said, I've got to go 3 times within 10 minutes of the first 10 minutes. I've got to go. I should be at home. That she was living in this place where they register the students. They've got a curfew. I have to be back by this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, they have to say certain things. It's almost like a test, I take it, like an alpha test, I think. Yeah. You know? And she's clearly a quality girl. She was pretty, she was stunning, she's got an amazing life in London. She goes to LA and New York for acting roles on stage. You know, she's not got a bad life. She's not going to be one to just go, haha, we're cracking a few jokes, I'm just going to get, you know, into a conversation when I've got a casting to go. She's clearly, like, switched on, right? And that's all that's happening. And this is the moment I just choose to, like, okay, maybe that was a bit too superficial. Let me just, like, do something sincere. Anyway, what's your name? So just something to bring it back down, you know? Yeah. Okay. I'm Yad.
Yad, nice to meet you.
So, like, are you in anything at the moment? Or?
I'm just about to start a film next week, and I've just finished one as well, so I think they're being released this summer.
So what do we always say? There's not an aphrodisiac for women like sort of, I don't know how to describe this, but sort of weaving yourself into their ego. Their ego is so wonderful, women, like in terms of everything's about them, and they rightly so, there's never any doubt about that.
Yeah.
And so what do? I just ask for such a simple thing as her name, and then I just go into something I know she'd be dead interested to tell me. She's a chauve, she's an actress. Yeah. It's just a bit of social intelligence, like she's not going to want to tell me about her work at the moment, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously something she's passionate about. Whenever you get a girl talking about her passion,
yeah.
You know.
So basically we have this rule, right? We have 90% of the conversation is about her and her world. Okay, 10% of it is about yours, and that's regardless of whether you're talking or her talking, because it could be 90% of the time you're talking, but just make it about her, or it could be 90% of the time she's talking, but make sure it's a subject that she's interested in.
Yeah.
You know, so she's not just becoming bored. So what happened here? I just realised, right, I need to say something that she's off to a casting, she loves her job, get that topic up. I had to get that topic up ASAP. And as we said, like, you know, when Tom was here, we were talking about how you're always playing for attraction. During attraction, it's not always attraction, it's not always like, because like that, what happened there, I think it was too much of a laugh straight away, and she became a bit like, oh, I've got to go. But her body language obviously said, I'm completely comfortable, otherwise she would have walked away. So she was completely comfortable, but she was just a bit like, oh, this is a bit crazy, I'm just having a laugh straight away with this guy, who is he? So I just needed to do something like, oh, what's your name? Oh, you're Kate, I'm Yad, nice to meet you, blah, 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 just to calm it down. And what I'm doing here, it's still in attraction, we've not gone into rapport. Yeah. This isn't rapport by a long shot. What we're doing is we're playing for that next juicy bit of meat, you know, that I can play with, that I can either challenge her on, do a bit of push and pull on, do a bit of knowledge on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What sort of production?
They're horrors, those two.
Okay.
I love horror films. But yeah, I've only been doing it professionally for 6 months, so we'll see.
But before that, it must have been a hard slog training.
I was living in New York at drama school.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
So you went to, you did all your training in America?
Yeah.
Okay. You've managed to, thankfully, avoid the accent.
Yeah, well, when I came back I had some twangs, which I've like graded out of my life. But I was trained to speak an American accent, so...
You mean acting-wise? Or
yeah.
So you're perfectly pitched when it comes to...
German American, yeah.
Well, that's really helpful, isn't it?
Yeah, really helpful.
Isn't that one of the biggest things for, like, British people?
Trying to do American and they're like really overly LA.
Yeah, who's the only one that can do it? So this is cool, we're just having you know, chit chat about her passions, you know, and it's nothing serious. I'm not going, oh, so it was your childhood dream to get into acting. That would be so off-putting right now. You know, it's just too much right now. I'm going to save that card for when we're on a date, right? Right now it should just be about building attraction. As you can see, I'm actually straining to think of something to say that'll make her, you know that I can tease her and stuff like that. And then I go for the accent thing. I'm like, thankfully you've avoided the accent, you know, like you've not come back with this weird quasi-American English accent, because she's lived in New York for the best part of 3 years or something. Right. So it's just a bit of that. And as I said, it wasn't too much, it was just right. And now look, she's wiggling her feet around. It's so crazy, isn't it? From I've got to go to, and it's all it takes is a bit of social intelligence and I suppose confidence in your experience, you know, because I love hearing I've got to go. For me, that's almost like, it gets my loin tingling, you know, because it's the amount of times I've heard I've got to go, and those have been the girls that have actually pulled through, you know?
Yeah.
It's magical. Kate Winslet, isn't it? She does it perfectly.
Yeah. So can, what's his name? Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
He doesn't UK American accent.
Right.
Yeah, no one else.
Yeah,
Jude Law trying is just like, oh, shame.
Yeah, Jude Law is such, I don't know how you feel about him, but he's just so up and down with me. Like, some feel like Alfie, he was terrible. He was
I
just
liked
like...
him in...
So, here, this is great to sort of express yourself on a subject she cares deeply about. So whether she's a spiritual person, whether she's a musician, it's great that you sort of be a bit expressive. You don't just go, oh, cool, yeah, no, I like films. Films are cool. It's cool to have an opinion, you know, and especially with, you know, the fact that this opinion is something she wants to get involved in, you know, because it pertains to her world. So this is great, and also it shows such a great bit of knowledge that you're a person of culture, that you're a person of her culture.
Yeah.
You know. And obviously, look, there was a quite a long moment of silence there, wasn't there, where she was telling me about Robert Pattinson and his American accent. Now that's genuinely something I don't know about. So I just went, oh, okay, cool, and I looked away, and then she goes, and she was just stood there wiggling her feet, and I thought she had to go, you know. It's great.
Yeah.
What's it called? The one where he's the inspector thingy. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, but he's actually he's all right in it.
Yeah.
I reckon he had quite close direction the entire time.
What do you mean? Like,
he doesn't spring to me as like a natural actor.
Yeah. You know, that's funny you say that, because I felt that when he did Closer.
Yeah.
I thought even his British accent was a bit strained there, you know?
Yeah.
Now if you can't do your own accent, that's pretty like...
I feel like that with Orlando Bloom as well.
Right.
I think he's got a great look, but I think he's just so awful.
Do you find you seem to follow men more than women, like, in acting?
There are more men, I think. Because all the films, lots of the films are based on men, so there are a lot more, especially men from England that are in film.
I think some of our most success stories are, you know, women though, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're more sort of like leads, I think.
So, putting her on the back foot here, I'm challenging her where most men wouldn't. They'll be like, oh great, you're an actress, oh my god, you know, I love you already, you're so amazing, you've been to New York, you've trained, like, I'm going, hold on a minute, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Most of our best actresses from England are actually women, not men. Like, we've got Kate Winslet, Emily Blunt, what's the other one's name? We've got someone else, we've got Keira Knightley, you know. I think, you know, they seem to be doing much better stateside than a lot of our... That's just my own opinion. Yeah. It's just a concept I've sort of garnered from, you know, watching movies and stuff, and I just express it.
That's it. Well, it's the opposite of approval seeking.
Exactly.
You don't care about her approval, so you're going to speak your mind.
Exactly. And, you know, I've spotted something, the fact that she perhaps... You know, I think there is this thing with women where they don't really support each other. Like, even, I don't know, someone like her seems to be more like, oh, well, only the men are worth studying anyway. I'm going, no, you seem to be more into the men than the women, and I think some of our best actors are women. She's like, no. She's trying to justify herself. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the woman's been working, and then suddenly she's achieved something, whereas the men have had consistent work.
Okay, so you're saying it's a flicker of, like...
Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna go pick something.
Yeah. So you're gonna be in a film soon?
Yeah. Hopefully it's being released this summer.
Well, I want to go to it when I'm in a pub with all my mates. I want to go. Well, I met this actress who was in this film that's currently playing.
It's a horror film called.
So I'll say something quite complimentary, but in a nice way. You know, as we say, be complimentary, but in a creative way. You know, so when I'm in a pub and you know, I'm just nattering away with my mates, I want to be able to say, you know, I met this actress from this film. You know, I'm not going, oh my god, I can't wait to tell my mates about the fact that I met you. Do you know what I mean? It's just much nicer creative way of putting it, you know, than saying, oh, I want to know what film you're in and I want to, you know, check you out. I'm just like, oh, when I'm nattering away to my mates, it might come up. What film are you in? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a much more chilled out compliment. Yeah. I think compliments are some of the best things you could do in day game. Don't shy away from them, because like there's this idea in game, can't be too complimentary. But I think compliment away as long as you're being creative with the compliment.
Well, and it was a low investment compliment. Exactly. It wasn't like saying, oh my God, you've got to tell me what film you're going to be in. I have to know. I want to tell my friends. It was like, well, yeah, when I'm in the pub with my mates, I want to,
exactly.
You know.
So it's a horror film based on...
6 students go to the mountains on like a hiking trip and get killed.
Sounds like a comic relief expedition gone very wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're very popular, aren't they? Is it handheld cameras and stuff like that?
Some of it's handheld, but it was all shot on Canon 5D, so it's really good quality. But it's there's handheld because you don't see.
So we go from I've got to go again to legs crossed and her getting into investment mode, just because I cracked a little joke about, you know, got us spiked up again with, you know, the comic relief thing. I don't know if many people get that, but in England we have these television shows. What is it, once a year or twice a year?
I think it's once a year.
And it's special occasions where sort of a group of celebrities or group of people get together and they sort of raise money for charity. And so I just like a silly comment, really, but it doesn't even make much comedic sense. But she has a good laugh with it, and I deliver it with such sort of such a cavalier way that she kind of just gets the fact that I'm just not bothered about the fact that she wants to leave and she's hot and she's got her shades on from LA, and do you know what I mean? All those things. It just impresses her down to down to her core. So it's really cool.
Attacking people, so like it's through the eyes of the attacker in some of
yeah. That's scary already. But listen, it was really nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry, what was your name again? So this is a great way of me flipping the script. So now I'm wrapping things up. You know, the worst thing I could have done. Oh, before you go though, can I just have your number, please? But what do? I calm down. I take control. I'm like, all right, cool, you've got to go. But so what sort of film are you in? Blah, blah. Get investing again. And then I'm the one wrapping things up. So do you see how we've gone from her, like, you know, she wanting to leave. I always go by the body language, basically. She's got the casting in mind. Hence, every time there's a bit of a break between, you know, me and her chatting, the casting might be popping back into her mind, and she's like, oh, I better say I've got to go, because otherwise she'll feel bad. You know, she's got a casting to go to. And I'm sure a casting... All right, this is what's crazy about this set. A casting to a girl who's trying to be an actress in her early 20s, right, should be head and shoulders above meeting a random guy on the street, right? What's more important?
Of course.
Right? Yeah. So, but do they think that way, women?
No, they get caught up in the moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite crazy, and I think it is dangerous for, you know, all those loved up guys who have girlfriends and stuff, but women do get caught up in the moment. It's not their fault. It's very much emotional. I genuinely believe if a woman has sex with a guy who with some Lothario or whatever, it doesn't mean anything. It absolutely doesn't mean anything. She still loves her husband. She still has deep feelings for the person she's with, you know, if she's played away. I think they genuinely, after experiencing so many crazy moments with women, it is the right moment, right time is everything. That spontaneous nature of life is everything. They're just so much more in the moment, aren't they? You know, in terms of what they go by. Like, they don't think logically like we do. It's all emotional, And it's so cool. It's so cool to know, you know. It'll be nice to catch up if you're around and stuff.
Yeah, well, give me your email address.
Well, can I text you sometime with...
Yeah, sure. Do you live in London?
Yeah, I live around here, actually. Just came back from New York.
You just what, sorry?
Came back from New York. I was living there
really?
for a few months,
Oh,
yeah.
whereabouts are you living?
You know Spring Street in Soho?
Yeah.
You know Dean and DeLuca?
Oh, yeah, I love
My favourite
Dean and
cafe.
DeLuca.
So I was living around there.
The
It was such a
best.
blast, yeah.
Such a great place for hangovers, like the best food ever.
Yeah.
It's just like that thick.
You never feel bad either. You're like,
Just
it's
like,
all
well.
organic, it's fine. So that was great, right? We've been to New York together, and just that little bit of knowledge bomb at the end, just to solidify things. She studied in New York, she clearly loves the place. Now she's in like, oh, what? This guy's really on my level, you know? You've got to do a bit of that, especially with high-end girls, you know. You've got to let them know you're on their level, you know. That comes through, by the way, that doesn't come through so much, I would say, exclusively through, oh, I've been to New York, I've been to this place, and I've been to that place. Yeah, so have a million other people right now living in London, but she doesn't go around going, right, you've been to New York, I want to go on a date with you. Like, that's not the way it works. But the way it works is, you combine the banter, you combine the bit of giggles we have with each other, and you sort of like cement it with all this like bits of knowledge here and there. It's just dynamite, basically.
What's your number?
07.
And what's your name again, sir? Oh.
It's J-A-D, Yad.
J-A-D,
Yeah.
Yad. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Can I take your number as well? I'll give you a text. No, I didn't get the call. Jade. Okay.
I got that right.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah. All right.
There you go.
All right. Cool.
Cool, it was
Nice meeting you. Bye. Cool, guys.
There we go.
Lovely, wasn't it? One of the best sets, I think, in terms of how difficult it would have been if I wasn't on my game, you know. And, you know, this is, I think, a little nice riposte to all the haters out there, because I think a lot of people, you know, slag off Day Game a little bit, I think, because, you know, yeah, you guys only go for, like, easy targets, this and that, but I think it's just, it's such nonsense. Cause
I don't think it's that we go for easy targets, it's that when you approach a girl in London, the chances are she's not English. It's not like you know beforehand.
Exactly. If you put the daygame.com crew, if there's a TV crew out there, you could put us all in a big house and unleash us on like Winchester or something. Then we'll number close and date and do all kinds of things with lovely, you know, homegrown birds. But, you know, the fact of the matter is we've grown up in London, and in London it's like a cauldron of multiculturalism where everyone comes together. People from Essex, you know, people from North London, you know, and it's just like, that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? And we deal with whatever's in front of us. But this is good to see for those out there that, I mean, she's one of the most connected, you know, actresses in London, and it's like, you can't get harder. She's English, she's like been all over the world, she's, you know, you can't just, I think this is the point here as well. If you were, like we said before, if you were to meet her in a nightclub where she's been on the guest list and she's all around her actressy mates, you wouldn't get a look in, you know. The fact that you can connect with someone like that is a testament to how beautiful Day Game is, I think, you know.
Agree.
So cheers, John. Thanks for sitting in on this.
Yeah, that was good.
No, it's good working with you. And, you know, reporting from daygame.com, as always.
Cheers.
See you soon.